America, you've tuned into Talk Business, and to all our viewers who are joining us from around the region, welcome to the show. This week we continue our coverage in the Solomon Islands. Our team travels up to the highlands of Guadalcanal to show you how coffee farmers there are producing some of the best coffee in the region. Join us as we take you from the harvest to the fermentation and roasting of these coffee beans, right from the farm to the factory. That's all coming up in the next half hour. We're on our way to one of the highest points in Guadalcanal. Up on the mountains is where we'll find coffee beans. The island of Guadalcanal is mainly covered in tropical rainforest and jungle. It's a high, rugged island with mountains reaching up to 2,400 meters. And this dusty, bumpy road is a common sight outside Honiara. Our team is accompanied by a few experienced hikers and local villagers. We've been told it's a 3-hour road trip up to the mountain. Then the road ends and the hiking begins. That's another 2 hours on foot. Now I'm standing here in the middle of the Boko Kimbo River. Translated in English, this means the little destructive river. It may not seem so, but just imagine what destruction this 50-kilometer inland river can cause during the wet season. Compounded by the road conditions, it can be a difficult task for farmers to transport their produce down to the market. Now we're halfway up the mountains to Guadalcanal, and we have another 2 hours by truck, then after that another 2 hours on foot before we reach the coffee plantations. This is what farmers here do every day in, day out, transporting their coffee beans to Honiara. It's the life they know, the only kind they used to. It's obvious that only strong and heavy-duty vehicles will survive the harsh road conditions up here, which is why when a truck makes its way up here, everyone takes advantage. So we have been driving for at least an hour and a half now up to the highlands of Guadalcanal, and as you can see, it is a very bumpy ride. And the roads here are not even tar still, so of course it's gravel roads. And villagers have to make their way up and down these roads every day to the markets to sell their produce. For coffee farmers, it's a lot more tricky because they have to transport bags, at least 50 kg bags of coffee beans. And we're not looking at just 2 or 3 bags. These are like 10 to 12 bags every day down to the market for export. Just imagine how difficult it can be, especially during the rainy season, to make your way down to the market. Our driver has made countless trips up to this mountain. He's a tough guy. We have now reached the end of the road, and now it's only an uphill climb on foot. It's a beautiful scenic view from up here. Gives us an indication of just how high up we are. And there's the bumpy road we left behind. We're trekking on a path that already exists, and we had no idea what awaited us. The path gets harder and uneven by the minute. And here's where it gets a whole lot more interesting. We get off the beaten track. As you can see, I'm literally struggling to climb up to the mountains. We've trekked at least an hour and a half now, and another hour and a half to go. So the shorter route would actually mean maneuvering through these shrubs, roots of trees, and possibly snakes. An hour later, we are halfway up the mountain, and it's taken us 2.5 hours already. It was supposed to be only a 2-hour hike. Despite the long walk, the amazing view is comforting. We come across a village that's on the foot of the ridge. That's a clear indication that we are no way close up the mountain. We have a few more hours of sunlight, so we must hurry. My trusted companion, the bamboo stick, still firm in my hand. My cameraman Shilendradat also tiring out by now. It's been 3.5 hours already. The villagers here are used to it. It's the only link to civilization from out here. The sun is ready to set. We have about 45 minutes before darkness engulfs us. The cameraman has reached the village, half an hour ahead of me, and they have been eagerly awaiting our arrival. The sun is now setting. It's a majestic scene, breathtaking, utterly beautiful. Meanwhile, darkness has quickly set in. Torches are now guiding our path. It's so dark you can barely see your hands. What started out as a 2-hour hike has in fact 2:30, 7:30 turned into a 5-hour hike. I have another 15 minutes before I reach the village. By now, I'm beyond tired. But I finally make it. Although it took me 5 hours, I feel a huge sense of accomplishment. And it was an amazing climb. It's actually about 10 kilometers up the ridge, and it was a very steep climb. I've tracked back at home in Fiji, but nothing as steep as this. And I'm glad that I was able to experience this. We're in fact the first Fijians to this village. Many people here haven't even seen foreigners, so you can imagine how excited they'll be to see us. And I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to experience this. And we were treated like royalty. The villagers are so happy to meet us. The Pacific hospitality is so vivid. After the 5-hour hike, we're starving and we dig right in. Yams, rice, noodles and canned tuna on the menu. Coming up in the next segment, our journey to the coffee farm. Lumakagi Village sits quite high up this ridge. For villagers, the day begins and ends in the coffee or yam plantations. Toiling the land has become a part of their lives. So we accompany the Lumakagi villagers, men, women and children to the coffee plantation. And this is shaping up to be another steep climb to the plantation. The harvesting of coffee beans is a community effort. So it's really early in the morning and we're making our way up to the coffee plantation. It's about a 30 to 45 minutes walk. The locals here go at 15 minutes pace. I'm sure it's going to take us longer than that. And that's where we see how they actually go through the whole process of picking coffee berries and then grinding them, getting ready for packaging. We are now here at the plantation, and as you can see, the coffee is grown wildly. The trees are abundant with coffee berries. It's a big plantation and women mostly tend to it.
This is how we pick cherries. We usually pick those cherries were ripe. For example, like this one. Those green one are not. We not pick those kind of cherries. We just pick those one.
23-year-old Judith has been picking coffee berries for as long as she can remember. She has lived the hard life, toiling with her family to farm coffee beans.
Yeah, very hard.
Working in the coffee farm is very hard because they have to use manpower. They do not use any machines or any other thing to help them maintain the coffee farms. They would use their manpower throughout the day to maintain the farms.
Villagers here have formed an association with other coffee farmers in the highlands. Over 1,000 active farmers from 40 villages are part of this association. The association has been providing coffee beans to Varivo Holdings since 1978.
It's really benefit us because we see the change since the coffee was established until today. We see the changes from Varivo. It saves us and we benefit a lot from the Varivo through school fees and house utensil, all those things. It really benefit us.
Working in the coffee is good because when they sell to Varivo, they are able to meet their needs and able to pay for their school fees. They are able to meet some of the things that they have no access to it previously before coffee.
The villagers here process coffee beans using the wet method. Now to thoroughly washing out the coffee beans.
Take away those wasted skins, those are wasted, and until we come to a clean and quality beans.
And to the drying of the beans. The beans are now being packed, ready to be delivered to Varivo Holdings. Now the task of carrying this bag down the entire mountain begins. By constructing a road up to the highlands, life would become a whole lot more easier for these villagers.
It is so hard to carry the coffee. From here to the road, it's about 20 km of carrying bags of 50 kilogram coffee on their back on very steep terrain to the access road. So she's appealing to the government if they can recognize the difficulty to come and provide at least a road to reach this place.
After 4 long hours, I have finally made it downhill. It's at least about 20 kilometers up and back. Took me about 3.5 hours, which is not too bad. Yesterday was about 5 hours. And we're back now, headed straight to the factory for the whole coffee production process. Varivo Holdings Limited was established back in the 1970s by community members in various villages across the Solomon Islands. Today, there are around 152 members who actually own this cooperative venture. The company specializes in the retail of kava, peanut and vanilla, but coffee is where their passion lies. Now to the drying of coffee beans. So the actual process of coffee production begins here at the polishing machine, which filters out the coffee bean shells. After that, the beans undergo a quality check process. Then to the machine that grades the bean.
When it is put inside, these types of beans have been graded according to A, B, C, and D, and E. E is the rejected ones. And when it been poured inside, we have to continue, the machines will continue to grade according to these types of sizes.
Now to the exciting part, the roasting.
We have the medium roast and the dark roast. Those two types of roast that we have processed in these roasting machines. The dark roast, we have the time which is 15 minutes. 15 minutes roast. Then the medium roast will be 10 minutes.
The beans are then grinded. And to the final packaging process, ready for the domestic market. Dudley Longame manages the business on behalf of the community members.
Every time they come with their coffee, we must pay them up. We must pay them up, and we must prove to them that we are here to ready for them. And we are very happy that by doing this, people starting to see the money that they directly go into their house villages. So they kind of mentality that they start to pick up that, yeah, if we work hard, then we can get money.
The European Union funded Increasing Agricultural Commodity Trade Program, or IACT, has helped the business maintain a vital link between the coffee farmers and staying afloat. IACT has provided the necessary equipment for the business to venture out into large-scale production and become export-ready. With IACT support, the company has literally doubled their production.
Now I came into play and provided them with a roasting machine and a grinding machine and a huller that could have a higher throughput. That was basically the area that we saw that we could help in if we wanted to help them take a step up towards trying to satisfy the domestic market.
It really doubles the production of 2013 2012 to 2013, and that is the sign that it gives us the idea. But in order to promote or to improve the production right from the farmer level, we try to work with the ministry, and we try to work with whoever can assist us, maybe SPC. If they can extend to that, then we can go on to the farmer level that more assistance, because as you know yourself, witness them, that there are other coffee farmers that are already in bushes, need to rehabilitate. So farmers, because they handle everything, they harvest of beans, maintenance of their farms, and the struggle of this carrying of their bikes. So they really need to be supported.
They're now seriously looking at the prospects of expanding beyond the domestic market.
We are targeting or looking at this, specifically we look at Fiji, because the tourism industry there is up, and the accessibility of transport, because the others are also expressing pledging the interest like Japan or Australia, but we look at the closest market and the accessibility, and also looking at the freighting, because if we go far, then the freighting will cost more. So we look at the regional first, and then we slowly go on. When the production comes up, then we slowly go on to the other countries.
Now we have demands from Fiji for the Solomon Gold coffee. Nature's Finest is currently in the process of negotiating with Variva Holdings to import coffee from there into Fiji. So this is when their export component of the project is going to start happening.
And that's all for tonight. We'd love to hear from you, so do send us an email, talkbusiness@fijitv.com.fj. Remember, you can also view tonight's show on our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/talkbusiness, or search for us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/talkbusiness. And if you have a Twitter account, follow me, Rachna @FijiTV. Thank you for joining us. Do join us again at the same time next week. Until then, have a productive week.